This is the intro. Here it is, the intro and verse. The whole thing starts on a B minor chord, which we produce by using our first finger on the second fret of the fifth string, second finger on third fret of the second string, and third and pinky are going to come to the fourth string and third string, like so. And for this one, as far as the riff goes, we're just going to use our right hand to pick right through the strings, that being fifth, fourth, third, and second strings. From there we go backwards, third, fourth string, remove our hand, and play open, third string. So again, that's B minor chord, back, open. Next we have a G chord of sorts, actually half of a G chord. And the way we produce this one is we use our first finger on the second fret of the fifth string and our second finger on the third fret of the sixth string. And then we strum straight through. Sixth string, fifth string, fourth string, third string. So far we have this. And then our last chord is an A suspended second chord. We produce that one by using our first and second fingers kind of as one unit on the fourth string and third strings, both on second fret. And then we strum through the middle fourth string, so those being fifth, fourth, third, and second. So when we put the whole thing together, should have that. Now they do that 3 times. The last time around, instead of the A suspended second chord, we're going to use an A chord. It's going to look like this. We're just going to move our first and second fingers over each one string so that we're on the second finger, or second fret rather, of the third string and second string. Play open fifth, and then first, second, third. Just like that. So the last time around. We have that. So that covers it for the intro and verse. Let's move along to the first fill. Okay, here's the first kind of fill. It's a strummed fill. We're going to use the chords we just learned. B minor, G, and A, except we're going to add a couple notes. We're going to finger B minor the same way, except we're going to use our first finger to cover all 5 strings. So that this note here, the second fret on the first string, is added in. So we have this. For G5, we're going to use our first and second fingers just the way we did before, on the second fret, fifth string, and third fret, sixth string. And now third and pinky are going to tuck under here to the second string, third fret, and also first string, third fret, just like this. So here's our G5. Now A, we have 2 choices. We can play it like this. First, second, and third all on second fret. Or we can use our first finger to flop over. All of them like this. And here's what it looks like when we... And the strum I used there, I went down, down, up, down. Down, down, up, down. Down, down, up, down. And we do 2 on the B minor. Then G. Just 1, and then A. So our whole phrase is going to look like this. And then it's back into another verse. So basically that's the idea for the strummed part in the first fill. Let's move along. Okay, this is the chorus to Kryptonite. You want to turn your distortion pedal on for this part. And before we get into the actual chorus of it, I wanted to show you a little bit about this one sound and also a pick slide that come in before. That sound is we need a little bit of feedback, and to do that you might want to hold your guitar up in front of your amplifier, or if you're going direct, I like to just kind of crank the gain up a little bit so it feeds back. And the note we're going to keep our third finger on is the 14th fret of the first string. So then we just let the volume flow, and there we have our feedback note. And then after that we have a pick scrape. The way we're going to achieve that is we just use the edge of our pick right here, take it against the lower strings, scrape it across. That's what's called a pick scrape. And then we begin our chorus here. So let's play along with the chorus one. So here we have it played along with the music. We've already gone over the feedback and the pick scrape. So let's take a look at the chords. In order to produce this one, you're going to need to know how to do a power chord, which is a movable chord shape. And what I'm doing here is I'm using my first finger on the 2nd fret of the 5th string and 3rd and pinky on the 4th fret of the 4th string and 3rd strings. And then I'm plucking just those 3 strings. And on our second chord is going to be the same idea, same chord formation, moved over here to the 6th string. I call it 6th string root because the root note, lowest note, is on the 6th string. 3rd fret, 1st finger, and 5th fret, 5th string and 4th strings, 3rd and pinky. From there we're going to move that chord shape up to 5th fret. So we have, if I go crazy, then would you still call me Superman? Next we're going to return to the 2nd fret note. If I'm alive and well, would you be there? Okay, new chord here. This is like an open E chord, except we're just going to use the bottom 3 notes. 1st finger covers 2nd fret on both 5th string and 4th string, and all 3 of those strings are strummed together. And then back to our 2nd fret chord. So we have E. And by the way, this is F sharp. You really don't need to know that, but if you guys want to know what chords you're actually playing, they're B, G, A, B, E, F sharp. Now for the strum to it, for the first one, the B chord, you want to keep it kind of snappy. Really accent the downstroke, and what I'm doing here is down, down, up, down, 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 down. Now in order to accent this correctly, your down-up strokes, you may want to let up the tension with your left hand just a hair so that it's more of a staccato effect like so as opposed to. Notice the difference between this, which is nice and snappy, and this, which is something else. We don't want to do the second one. From there, we're going to not let up on the strum for this one. We're going to let it go ahead and let this one ring. And the same with the 5th fret note. So we have snappy, and then released for the second half of the phrase. And towards the end of this one, the second time around, there's a second guitar that kind of does that. You can barely hear it in the mix, but if you're listening closely, the notes I'm playing there are 4th, 5th, 4th, 5th, 4th, 5th. And then we're back to the verse with B minor. So one more time we have, if I go crazy, then would you still call me Superman? If I'm alive and well, would you be there holding my hand? I'll keep you by my side with my Cupid. the second fill now, which comes right after that part of the song. Here we go, let's move on. Okay, so this phrase looks like this without the music. This way you can hear it a little more clearly. And here's the notes. We start on 4th fret, 3rd string with our 3rd finger. And let that note ring as we bring our 2nd finger over here to 3rd fret, 2nd string, and also have your 1st finger prepared here on 1st fret, or 2nd fret rather, so you can kind of go back and forth between the two. So we have this. After that, we're going to go open E, back to 2nd string, then back to 2nd fret, 2nd string. So we have this for our next couple notes, next 3 notes. This whole thing. Next phrase looks like this, which is 2nd fret, 3rd string with our 1st finger, followed by 3rd finger, 4th fret, 3rd string, and then we're going to move our 1st finger over 1 string to hit 2nd fret, 2nd string. Just like that. So our whole phrase looks like this. And then the next half of it looks like this. We're going to do just what we did at the beginning, except we're going to go right to open E after we do it. After that, we're going to move 2nd finger to 3rd fret, 1st string, then 1st finger, 2nd fret, 1st string, and then we're going to move it over here to 2nd fret, 2nd string, back to open E, open 1st string, and then to 2nd fret, 1st string. So that whole thing. Again. So when we put it all together, we get this. And it fits in really nicely. Let's move along. Alright, here's the solo to Kryptonite. So there we have it. Let's get started. 1st finger, 2nd fret, 5th string is our first note. Then we're going to bring it up to 4th fret, same string. Then use 2nd finger on 5th fret, same string, and then back to 4th, back to 5th, and back to 4th. Simple so far. Just that much again. Then we're going to use 2nd finger, slide it up to 7th, followed by 1st finger, 5th. 1st finger slides back down to 4th, 2nd finger, 5th, 1st finger, and then we're actually going to play a different string here. We're going to use our 2nd finger on 5th fret of the 6th string. So that little phrase. So when we put it all together, we get this. Next up, we're going to use 3rd finger on 7th fret of 6th string, have 1st finger anchored over here on 5th fret of 6th string, and alternate between those two. I have 7, 5, 7, 5, 7, 5. Then we have a series of staccato notes, which is on the 5th string, 5, 7, 5, 7, 5, 7, 5, 7. 4, 5, 4, 5, 4, 5, 4, 5. And the way I'm creating those is with the muted effect, is I'm using the heel of my hand, this part of my hand here, with the right hand, and kind of putting it over the strings so that they are muted a little bit as I pick it. So when we put the whole solo together, now as long as we're on this, the second solo is very similar, except instead of sliding to the 7th fret, he actually slides up to the 9th, then to 7th, 5th, 4th, then 5th, and then we're going to flop over here to 5th fret 6th string. So that's all on one string too, like so. And that replaces that part of the first solo. So anyway, there's the first and second solos kind of rolled into one lesson. Like I said, the second is very similar to the first, except we changed that one little part. So let's move along now to the bridge of the song. Okay, here's our bridge to Kryptonite. I'm going to show you the chords really quick before we play along with it, and then we'll do that, and then I'll show you the individually picked notes. There's actually two different parts to this that use the same fingering, so I think that's the best way to approach it. Basically here, the rhythm guitar is still on the same as the intro and verse riff that we learned earlier. What we have next is another guitar coming in with these three chords. First being a B minor, just kind of the top of the chord. First finger, first string, 2nd fret. Second finger, 2nd string, 3rd fret, and third finger, 3rd string, 4th fret. Next chord, we have our first finger across all 3 strings, 2nd fret. Then we're going to slide that up and bring our 2nd finger down here to 4th fret, 3rd string. So here we have 3rd fret, 3rd fret, 4th fret. Again, that sequence, B minor. Now the first couple times around it's just strummed. And then once I get into it a little more, it's going to be individually picked notes, starting on the 1st string and then moving to 2nd and 3rd. Along with the music, as you saw, it's strummed at first, and then second time around we do the individually picked notes, and it fits in there pretty nicely along with the rhythm guitar. And there's a little bit of nuance in the background too, a little bit of feedback and things like that we explored earlier. So let's go ahead now and play along with the whole song from beginning to end.